Ladies and gentlemen, when you thought you heard it all, this video is going to blow your mind. I was watching a little bit. I didn't finish it. But it got to a part, I said, hold on. I was in between editing and I don't know if y'all heard about this, but Inmate Daisy Link's jailhouse pregnancy scheme. I can get out now. Again, I do not know if you guys have heard about this, but this is going to blow your minds. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Daisy Link has been a lot of things in her 30 years. A wife, a mother, an accused murderer, and for a time, a scientific curiosity, a medical marvel. In 2022, Daisy shot her husband, Pedro, in the leg in a South Florida alleyway. She says she did it in self-defense after years of abuse. Too bad for her, though, and for Pedro. The bullet hit an artery, and Pedro bled out and died. Daisy was charged with his murder and promptly locked up in the county jail. Her trial began just this week, but it is what happened to Daisy Link while locked up in that county jail in the fall of 2023 that made her such a media and medical sensation, not to mention made her a mom. Daisy Link got pregnant. The thing is, she hadn't been in contact with men, and authorities found no evidence of sexual battery, guards and stuff. But DNA tests showed something that did make sense, that the father was, in fact, a fellow inmate. What didn't make sense is that he was separated from her by 2 floors. This is the baby daddy in question. His name is Juan De Paz, and like Daisy, he's an accused murderer. There's somebody for everybody, folks. De Paz's cell was on the 6th floor. Daisy's was on the 4th floor. And jails don't exactly have mixers, on Friday nights. So how on earth did these two even meet, let alone, make a baby? Corrections officials wanted to know the very same thing, so they got down to the nitty-gritty and they investigated. And now my colleague, Brian Enton, has gotten his hands on some video and some handwritten notes and phone calls that really tell the whole story. And you have to see it to believe it. The key to the mystery is an air duct. Here's the baby daddy himself sort of starting it all off.
This is crazy, man.
Well, I know her for a little minute, you feel me? So we was talking, back and forth and...
How were you talking to her?
Nah, through the vent.
Through the vent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Through the vents. Anybody would say I'm crazy, or you talking to the vent, yeah. And then we was talking, and then we got to know each other better, and then, I'm like, now I really want a baby, because, I got a murder, and I might never go home, so...
Let me just stop right there. This man said, I want a baby, but I may never go home. So how do you expect to be in this baby's life? So let me ask y'all this. What do you think this child is going to be like with his 2 parents? Really think about that. How selfish.
Pick it up from there. The two not only talked through the vent, but they ended up swapping notes through the vent as well. And we got copies of them. Here's one where Juan writes, "My snuggle wuggle baby girl." I wonder what kind of credit he gets for that in prison. Well, jail right now. Another note looks like a list of baby names. And Daisy says they were able to send their notes through the air duct on a cable that they'd fashioned out of bedding material. And one day, they realized that if they could pass notes back and forth, they could pass other things, more personal things, such as Juan De Paz's semen. Stay with me. DePaz would later tell a reporter, and I will quote him, "I put the semen in saran wrap every day, like 5 times a day, for like a month straight, and then sent it down the line to Daisy on the 4th floor, who, in her words, administered it with a yeast infection applicator." So yeah, creative. Before this was all common knowledge, the pair even discussed their plans on the phone. Remember, they'd never met face to face. So have a listen to that conversation.
So you think you're pregnant?
I don't know. I still haven't had my period.
You think that work?
I don't know. It probably could. I'm telling you, I was supposed to have my period. I don't know.
Damn, babe, have you been on it for real?
I swear to God on my kids, I do it every time. Every time.
Real, for real, like deep, like in there?
Yes.
You make
deep,
sure
yes.
it's in there?
Yes, like swimwear.
Because real.
Because she already swearing on her kids, who I'm thinking she has with the father that she took out, and that's why she's in jail. And down there sending things through a vent to have enough. You cannot make this stuff up. You cannot.
First supposed to be in you, then shoot out like a water hose.
It was definitely in me, all the way in there. I did it every time.
Okay, I did hear the laughing. I'm going to ask about that in a minute. But if your head is spinning right now, how would you like to be Daisy Link's mom when her incarcerated daughter broke the news to her by phone? Oh, we have that too. Take a listen.
Oh my goodness.
Under 24-hour lockdown because I'm pregnant.
You're full of
I swear to God.
You're full of This is shocking.
What do you mean? I'm going to sue. I'm going to get out. You know how much I could sue them for? This is all planned. I can get out now. If they
You know, if you're new to this channel, there's some things I've talked about before. I always say you got to pick. I say you can't be dumb and stupid. You got to pick one. She's literally, does she not know that these phones are recording? It's all planned. I'm a sue. Oh, no, you're not. Wow. And again, man, you just think about the kids and the innocence, and then you think about who are raising them and how they become. Like, this is a prime example, man. This is insane. All these comments are going to be something else.
let me out of the Arthur hearing, I wouldn't have got pregnant.
You know what? You're stupid. Don't talk on this phone.
Thank you, Mom.
Did you catch that last part? Not the one where she says you're stupid. She says, don't talk something on this phone. Shit. Whether this baby was a love child or a miracle or both, mom-to-be was also hoping, it seems, that it would be her get-out-of-jail-free card. P.S. Daisy and Joanne's baby girl was born in June of last year and is now living with Joanne's mother. And all of this brings me to my next guest, Tony Tomas. He's Daisy Link's attorney. So glad you're here with me, Tony. I just can't believe that they pulled this off. I know that she's on trial for murder right now, but does this pregnancy and the birth of a baby affect the murder case at all?
Hi, Ashley. No, it doesn't. It's not relevant to this murder case at all, which is strange because I understand this is the reason why the public took an interest in it, but it has nothing to do with the murder. So it's I don't expect it to come up at all during this trial. If the government tries to bring it up, I'll object, and I suspect that the judge will sustain it, and it will not be she won't permit it to be discussed because it has nothing to do with the murder.
I can see how you say it's not relevant, although just the issue of credibility, because she's taking the stand, right? I should just check that for starters. If she's on the stand, then her credibility could be impeached, correct?
Right.
Most likely she will take the stand. However, this not only is this far removed from the shooting in terms of time, but there's no nexus, there's no relevance. So unless
The relevance is character. This speaks to your character, your capabilities. Like, she ain't never met this dude. The dude ain't never met her. The baby's with his parents, which she's never met. So it's like, if you're the judge and you're looking at what she just did, now there's possibility, that of course, like, this has nothing to do with the other. But again, when you start to look at someone's character and you go, I can't believe she just did this, then you're like, oh man. I'm just saying, like, you're the judge and you're saying, okay, she's in jail for this, and she just let a dude, she just got the dude Juices, who's also in jail for this. I just can't wait to see the comments.
I open the door to that topic in some way, which I do not intend to, I don't see how the government's going to be able to bring it up, nor should they, really.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out how they might be able to impeach her credibility by saying, here's her sneaky behavior on a public telephone line, a recorded telephone line, saying that she planned to have a baby to get herself out of jail in a sneaky and really unorthodox way. I see what you're saying, though. I could see that would be something that would be questioned and certainly objected to.
And I get the issue about credibility. I don't know how sneaky it is when she's talking about it on a phone that she knows is being recorded.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
She probably forgot.
I only think that her mom thought she was stupid for saying it on the recorded line. And I'll tell you what, I've met my fair share of inmates. I don't think they're Mensa, all of them. Certainly some of them are, but not all of them. Let me ask you this. If your client is convicted in this murder and is sentenced to an appropriate term, it will be a long one for murder, is she going to have any chance to see that baby? I have no idea what the rules and regulations are in your jurisdiction for maternal visits with children. Do you have any idea? Has she even inquired?
I don't believe she's inquired. If she gets convicted, she's facing a minimum mandatory sentence of 25 years because this crime involved a gun and the discharge of a gun causing death or great bodily harm. If she's convicted of the lesser included offense of manslaughter, there would not be a minimum mandatory term, but she still would be facing up to, in this case, unusually up to life in prison because of an enhancement that applies to her. So by the time she would get out, assuming that she's convicted and a minimum mandatory applies, the child will be an adult already. Now, whether or not something can be arranged for there to be visits while she's in jail, that's certainly possible, but that's something that they would have to figure out in the event that happens.
And yeah. Why would you want your child coming there?
I have just one last quick question about the murder trial itself and the strategy here. I know that she was seen on body cam crying after the shooting. She pretended not to know what happened at first, but the prosecution say that was a lie. Is that going to be the hardest uphill climb for you?
Certainly her behavior afterwards and not being candid and fully forthcoming with the police is going to hurt.
Okay. Again, character. So I look, I don't know nothing about this at all. This literally came up and I was watching a little bit. I ain't never heard of her, but so this is all news to me. So for them to say that she wasn't forthcoming, and now you're over here letting the A dude who's in jail for, you know what, get you pregnant by sending juices through the vents.
But luckily, we have a lot of evidence showing not only that the victim in this case was in a very belligerent and dangerous state, but he had viciously attacked her just 5 days before, split her head wide open, pistol whipped her, blood everywhere, and she was trying to leave. She ended things with her. He was not welcome there. She asked him to leave repeatedly. And before the shooting, you can even see on video, he's screaming, basically telling her, I'm not going to leave. You're going to have to kill me.
All right. Let me look at some of the comments here, man. Let me see. She just created another problem for herself. For what? She ain't getting out as far as the previous charges. That poor baby girl, I hope she has a good life. What a bizarre thing to do. How did she think it would work? New baby doesn't equal getting away. And again, like, this was such a lose-lose situation. Let's say she gets out of jail and has a relationship with the kid. And let's say the father gets out of jail. Like, let's say she gets out of jail before the father. And she starts her life over, gets everything going on the right track, meets another guy. I'm just wondering, what is that dynamic going to look like with the father? Let's say he ends up getting out. Is he going to want a relationship? Like, I was just trying to wrap my head around this, man, and it was just giving me a headache. Like, my goodness. And someone said, why are men and women inmates even in the same facility? I was going to ask that too. I don't think, I ain't saying it doesn't exist. I just never heard of it. Man. This is just, when she said there's somebody for everybody, folks, and to say that on a line where it's being recorded. All right, y'all. I just had to share that. Again, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but my goodness. People, man. Wow. All right. Peace out.